I'd like to welcome everyone to our Board of Health meeting and call the meeting to order. It's Monday, August 5th at 6:04 p.m. And we'll have our call to order. Let's see, Stephanie Granger here. Megan.
Here.
Michelle.
Here.
And Joanne, are you able to speak yet? Okay, she has typed here in the box. She's working on her mic, and Sue is absent tonight. So she can hear us, and she's trying to get the mic, but she can communicate, at least Joanne can. All right, so we will go ahead then with our open forum. Do we have anything? I don't see anybody.
There is no questions at this time.
Okay. Then we can move on to the approval of minutes from the June 10th meeting. And did anybody have any question or comments on those? Are you able to pull those up, Ray? Thank you.
Sure.
I
just had one question
since I wasn't in attendance.
Okay. Michelle's going to abstain, and Megan, you had a question?
I had a question. I just remembered that Ray, you had shared about the conversation that the town managers and everyone had in planning some events that addressed the concerns that came out of the survey. And I didn't see any of that discussion here. I didn't know if that was intentional or.
Which survey? I'm sorry.
I'm forgetting the actual name of it. Sorry, but you guys came back with info about the main concerns in the town that the actual
Oh, okay, with the community health assessment?
Yes, thank you. And then oh, okay, it's right there. Okay.
Yep. But if you'd like more mentioned, we can absolutely make any corrections you want.
No, it was just brief enough that I missed it.
You remembered that. That's great, Megan.
I know, because I'm like, what survey? Sorry about that.
No, I was like, wait, it was the community needs, community health. Yeah, okay, thanks.
Did anybody else see anything or have any comments on the minutes?
Can I just do a mic check?
Yes, we hear you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And see you. That's wonderful. And Michelle was having problems with her.
I know. I can't get my camera to work, but I'm here.
Right. Sorry. So we'll explain the lack of your lovely face. Okay. If there's no other questions or comments on the minutes, would anyone like to make a motion to accept them?
I can make a motion.
Okay, Megan makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Joanne seconds. All in favor. Stephanie, aye. Megan?
Aye.
Joanne?
Aye.
And Michelle, you were abstained.
I'll abstain since I was absent.
Okay, thank you. All right, then we can move on to the discussion of the Title V variants. Do we need them here? Do we want to give them a couple minutes?
No, I believe Jeff's on. Let me just promote him.
Okay.
Jeff, are you there?
Maybe he's waiting for his 6:15 moment. Do we want to take?
Oh, he was on and then he just left.
Oh, are you there, Jeff?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome. Okay, so this is regarding the Title V variance request for the use of a tight tank for the upgrade of a failed septic system at 35 Keys Road.
Yes. I'm not sure why my camera's not working.
We're having problems with that tonight.
I can see.
So Jeff, what I'm going to do is as you can see, tonight we do have a variance here, by Jeff Hannaford from North Design for 35 Keys Road. He is requesting a variance request for the tight tank for the upgrade of a failed septic system at 35 Keys Road. I'll bring up the plan, which was in your packet. And we do have a response, from our office, regarding this request.
Thank
So,
you, Ray.
Sure.
So turning my head, I have a big screen next to me that I have. this
So Jeff,
up-
anytime you want to start, I'll bring up the plan, okay?
Sure. Go ahead. And I won't take it personally, Stephanie, that you keep looking away from me. Okay, for the record, Jeff Hannaford representing the applicant, Gordon Chartier, the owner at 35 Keys Road. Mr. Chartier is in the process of selling the property. In doing so, he had a Title V inspection done on the existing system. The Title V inspector inspected the system and noted it as requiring further investigation from the Board of Health, mainly due to the location of the wells in the immediate proximity. The well for the existing house, the current house, as well as the neighbor to the right, their well were both within 50 feet of the septic system. So we went out, we actually did a test hole to try to determine water table versus the bottom of the system, and confirmed the location of the wells, and it ended up failing the Title V inspection. So that's prompted us to prepare the plan that you see. Due to the well locations, it was felt that the only thing we could do here was to go for a tight tank. And the reasons for that, besides the wells, you can see there is area to the rear of the property, but there's a retaining wall immediately behind that patio. It runs further over behind the house as well, and then down towards the right area there. That's about a 4-foot high retaining wall. The back side of that retaining wall, we show some of the contours. They're at approximately a 2-to-1 slope, which is a very steep slope. We only showed a small portion, but they continue for the entire length of that rear of the property. There's probably, I'd estimate or guesstimate, about a 30-foot change in elevation from the back of that house upwards towards the back of their lot. It's so steep and all wooded that it just isn't a practical area to use to try to site a septic system. So we had to rule that out. The left side of the house, there's virtually no room between the house and the property line. So that left us with this area to the front and right of the dwelling. Across the street is Keys Pond, another limiting factor for a conventional septic system. Then, of course, the 2 wells. It virtually eliminated any possibility of a conventional system. So we've designed it with a tight tank. Tight tank does require an approval from the board. We're asking for, additionally, asking for a variance because the typical setback for a tank to a well is 50 feet. We can't meet that, so we're asking for a variance to 18 feet. But again, this is a tight tank. It's meant for storage only, not treatment. So with that, there'll only be an inlet. The tank itself will be waterproofed to make sure there's no leakage. And an alarm will be installed in the tank at a 3/5 capacity of the 2,500-gallon tank to alert the owners that it's time to pump the tank. It's at 3/5 because the 2/5 allows time for the owner to contact a septage pumper, so they're not in a panic situation when the alarm goes off. They still have capacity to work, say, through a weekend or to schedule it in a more timely manner. So with that, one of the things that I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ray, I didn't see any final review from your department other than the initial review that Abby did of the plan. I made some revisions to the plan based on her comments. Additionally, after talking with my client, one of the revisions was to change the design criteria from 2 bedrooms to 3 bedrooms. But I don't know if there's any other comments from the review of the revised plan.
So Abby did forward her comments. I was under the assumption that you were sent them too, so I apologize if you were not. But so she did put that the as-built plan from 1988 shows the property at 2. She said we do not have any further septic system information, which indicates the property was upgraded to 3-bedroom. Tight tanks shall not be approved for new construction or increased flow per Title V. The proposed plan does not fit into these exemptions. I suggest approval once the plan is modified, to 2-bedroom design. She does have a pump schedule and contract shall be supplied to the health department before the certificate of compliance is issued. And a tight tank deed restriction will be filed with the registry of deeds. Again, before the certificate of compliance is issued.
Okay, yeah, I did talk to Abby, but I didn't see it in writing. I just wanted to make sure there was nothing else beyond what we discussed. So with the 3-bedroom issue, this is something that just always seems to crop up periodically with interpretations of Title V and the way things have been done in the past, and how to look at the information that we have to look at when we weren't there, when things may have changed. The system that's there that did fail was installed in 1988. The original, as far as I could tell from the assessors, a structure has been here since approximately 1930. I don't know what was here between 30 and 88, but in 88, it was upgraded to the system that we show. It's actually in light gray on the plan there. There's 3 trenches and a septic tank. My client purchased it in 2015. They purchased it as a 3-bedroom dwelling. In 2014, the owner at that time had a Title V inspection done. The Title V inspection noted 3 bedrooms actual, 2 bedrooms design. So it appears that we have at least some record saying that in 2014, it was inspected and there was a 3-bedroom house. My client bought it the following year as a 3-bedroom, not knowing the implications of bedrooms per Title V. The person they purchased it from in 2015 was the owner back in 1988 when the system was upgraded. So I don't know what happened between 1988 and 2014/15, but apparently the house was changed to a 3-bedroom. I researched the building department records and could not find anything relating to that. So we're in a bit of a situation for my client where they bought a 3-bedroom home, or so they thought legally. Again, it was noted on the Title V inspection, they say at that time it existed as a 3, right or wrong. I'm simply saying it existed that way. The assessors were contacted recently when I notified my client about the contradiction between bedrooms, past and present. And they had the assessor's office go out and do a walkthrough and confirm that it is 3 bedrooms. But that doesn't speak to when that change may have occurred. So in talking it over with my client, we recognize the wording in Title V, but I thought it, for their sake, it was worth discussing the fact that we're not talking about a conventional system here. We're talking about a tight tank, which is storage only. And the size septic tank that we have is a 2,500 gallon tank. The calculations that we use for sizing it you could back calculate, but it's sufficient for a 3-bedroom house. So whether we call it 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms, the size of the tight tank does not change. So with that, from a practical standpoint, I don't see the harm in agreeing at this point in time that it is a 3-bedroom. It doesn't affect, like I said, the tight tank sizing. And, as far as use, we could go back to calling it a 2-bedroom, but if it exists as 3, there's nothing we can do to stop somebody from using it as 3. So I just felt, from a practical standpoint, I know the regulation, I've read it, but from this point of view, I just don't think that it makes sense to go back to 2. And the only thing I can say that would bridge the gap between what we have and what the regulation says is that from 1988 to 2015, when that owner sold it, something changed and it didn't get updated in a proper way that we could say, okay, now this meets the regulation. Now we're stuck dealing with it. And I just think it makes more sense to say it really is a 3-bedroom. How it happened, we don't know. But from this point forward, let's just say, besides on a Title V report, that it was 3 bedrooms actual in 2014, that it's still 3 bedrooms. And it doesn't change the tight tank, and more or less clears up what would, if you go back to 2 bedrooms, it's always going to be a question mark in the files. And when it gets sold this time and gets sold at some other point in the future, that's still going to be hanging out there. So I wish I had found more pertinent information to say when that bedroom came in, and did that original system, was it actually capable of handling that? I don't know, but I just think it makes sense to kind of draw a line in the sand and say, okay, it's 3 bedrooms. This tight tank is sufficient. Why not?
Let me, I appreciate what you're saying and sharing. Let me ask a few questions and see if any other board members have questions. So, Ray, can you reread or explain to me again what it was that Abby had said about the regulation regarding the bedrooms and,
Sure, so she is basically stating that the as-built plan we have on file with our office is from 1988, which is the system that you see there in the light gray. The property, according to our records, it was built for a 2-bedroom system. So in the Title V, as Jeff mentioned, it's letting the person know that, hey, by the way, there may be 3 bedrooms in the home, whether they pulled a building permit or not. It sounds like they didn't if there's no record. The system's designed for 2. So Abby goes on to state the code for tight tanks, and it states tight tanks shall not be approved for new construction or for increased flow to an existing system. So by going from an existing 2-bedroom to the proposed 3, it would certainly be considered increased flow, and then it would fall under new construction guidelines. So Abby is saying, the proposed plan does not fit into these exemptions, and I suggest approval once the plan's modified to 2. And then she goes on to state the other requirements, the pump schedule and the deed restriction requirements.
okay.
So we would not recommend approval for this plan with a 3-bedroom, with his proposed 3-bedroom design.
And that's. So it sounds like trying to understand the regulation versus what the situation is too. So it's saying that you can't change.
You can't increase the flow.
Correct. From 2 to 3.
Right. The conundrum to that is,
That there are 3 bedrooms.
right, as far as my client is concerned, they're not proposing to increase the bedrooms
Right, it's just what it was.
because they bought a 3.
And there wasn't a deed restriction or anything to have it as a 2-bedroom.
Not that I'm aware. I don't think in 1988 they dealt with things in that way.
But somehow it went from a 2 to 3-bedroom unofficially, it looks like is what we're finding. Michelle, did you?
I just blacked out for some reason, but
Oh,
it just
okay,
closed out, but I'm back.
okay.
I'd be curious to hear Joanne's opinion on this.
It's gonna be unfortunate. Because I think, and you probably have, and I know Jeff has, and Ray, I know you have. I've seen things called bedrooms by realtors in order to make a sale, because a 3-bedroom is more sellable than a 2. That doesn't make it so. It just gets printed that way, and therefore then it becomes that. I'm not pointing fingers at realtors, but I know that it's happened and it's been done. Also at some point, if you're saying that there was a bedroom created, then it's an illegal bedroom, basically. I know you said that the assessors went out, but I think there are things that may be called bedrooms in their world that may not be considered bedrooms in our world. But given that, it still is an increase in flow over what we have on file. And there's nothing that we can see or prove at some point that there was a change in the system to accommodate the 3rd bedroom that supposedly somehow mysteriously appeared, when we know that the system that was in the ground was built for a 2-bedroom dwelling. To me, I think a DEP is going to reject it. I think they're going to say, at what point in time did this house become a 3-bedroom? At what point in time did the 2-bedroom system become a 3-bedroom system? And there's nothing to prove any of that. And, they're going to say it's an increase in flow. I get, I get the situation, really, honestly. I do. I just don't know how we are going to be put into that position to make that decision. Arbitrarily, kind of, we don't have any proof. Anybody can turn a, you know, an office to a bedroom, half a dining room, and and they put up their own wall, and suddenly they have a bedroom because they've got minimum space in a closet, but they built it themselves. So yes, it looks like a bedroom, but it's not a legal bedroom.
Yeah, Ray, you had your hand up?
I just wanted to also add that in our department, which Jeff is aware, this happens every once in a while, right? Where a home is sold for so many bedrooms, but the design is actually for much less. Shockingly, in this scenario, the Title V did reflect the actual design, which sometimes, it just says, oh, it's a 3-bedroom with a 3-bedroom system, which may not be the case. But I just wanted to add that, if at any time someone comes to us like this and says, well, I have assessors data that shows that it was a 3-bedroom at one point. Oh, I do have a building permit that shows the town signed off on a 3-bedroom. We'll honor that, certainly. But unfortunately, we don't have anything showing that a 3rd bedroom was added, and we don't have any assessors history showing that at any point was the septic system a 3-bedroom. So I just wanted to add that we do give them every opportunity to pull every piece of history from all the departments to prove otherwise.
And I'll tell you, just from what's happening in my other world, we're finding that people bought houses and have been assessed sewer fees only to have a septic system, and find out at the sale like 10 years later. They said, we bought the house. They told us it was on the sewer. And then all of a sudden there's a septic failure, and they're like, where'd that come from? So things get mucked up sometimes in the works, and so it's not unusual.
Unfortunate,
weird thing.
perhaps, but not unusual.
Well,
Okay, any other comments?
well, maybe it's good my camera isn't working.
I mean, I really think that we're all very sympathetic in terms of it would.
I get it. It's I run into this all too often. And I'm plagued by a brain that tries to work through things practically.
Right.
And, the regulations are the regulations, and the definition of increase in flow is, it's a tough one to deal with sometimes. And so, yeah, I understand the board's, the department is looking at the best available evidence, and it doesn't show where this increase happened and that it happened in an acceptable way.
It just
Had
that
had it happened maybe between 1988 and 95, it would have been different because Title V was different then, but we don't know that. So my point was to just make an attempt to right a wrong in a way that the future would be simpler. But I understand what I'm asking, and I understand what you have to deal with.
So Ray, is there, I mean, it basically is not possible for this property to be approved as a 3-bedroom and have a tight tank? Is there any way that they can?
They could be approved with a tight tank at a 2-bedroom design.
Right, but not as a 3.
Unfortunately, the state regulations that we just can't approve. Like I said, we'll give them every opportunity to prove that at some point it was a 3. Or that the town signed off, like I said, on some kind of building permit for a 3.
Mhm.
But,
So-
I'm very empathetic. This happens more often than should, but unfortunately, we don't have the authority to do that.
Maybe we could all get together and write a letter to DEP asking to change that, at least for a tight tank, because the only downside I see is the homeowner, if they're using it as a 3 and they have a tight tank, then they're going to be pumping more often, which means it's going to cost them more money. So if they want it, they got to know they're going to be paying for it every time the tank fills up. Environmentally, I don't see how it changes anything. A conventional system would be different because you'd be increasing the flow to something that's trying to treat that extra flow. And is it doing that by the time it gets to the water table? So there's a lot of different things going on there. So I understand it more clearly on increasing bedrooms for a conventional system. I just don't quite understand it for a tight tank. So that's why I thought it was worth asking the question.
Mhm. Yeah, and
Um,
I agree. I mean, like I said, it's unfortunate, but as Ray said, we don't, and we don't have the ability to change Title V the way we want to. We can, maybe we can talk to Andrea or whoever, or Claire, and see if it can be changed for the future. But in terms of like this property, it'll have to be a deed restriction, so it'll have to be recorded, and then, like you said, going forward, it will be clean and it will be clear what this property is, because obviously there's just a lot of open questions and empty space. So
do we want to take a vote then? On the variance?
Before you do,
Okay,
I understand that the position is to not approve a plan that says 3 bedrooms. We do have another variance for the distance to the well that I was hoping we could maybe do 2 different votes. And with regard to the bedroom, to save some time from having to come back to another meeting, if the bedroom vote could include some sort of language that it's conditional upon the revision that you'd want.
so Megan,
Abby also wanted in her letter, it looked like a plan. I didn't see a plan in what was brought forward for emptying of the tank and who was going to do it.
Oh, I could speak to that. She also noted that info would be required prior to the certificate of compliance, not the construction permit. And that info is about how they handle the pumping, who's going to be contracted to do it, and where will that contractor dispose of it, which is typically a treatment plant like Lowell, Fitchburg, et cetera. So those are things that can be worked out once we have a permit to construct. Then the owner knows that they have something to do, and there's a list of things. There's going to be the deed restriction they have to do. They'll have to get a pumper under contract. That pumper will stipulate where it's going. All this information can follow after the permit's issued and before the certificate of compliance is issued, putting the system into use.
okay. Does anybody want to try? Joanne, do you want to try?
I'm gonna do the easy one.
Okay,
I'm gonna do the tight tank to the wells because it's a tight tank, so it doesn't matter. So I will make a motion that we approve the variance request to decrease the distance from the tight tank to the existing adjacent wells from 50, remind me,
To 18?
to 18 feet.
Correct.
18, and do we need to say for both of them or?
Yes.
Yeah, to the adjacent, well, I said
one
adjacent, so it
was-
would be either side.
Okay. Okay, motion made. Michelle, do you think that's, is there any
That's
discussion?
reasonable.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, then we can take, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion made by Joanne and seconded by Michelle. All in favor, Stephanie, I, Megan,
Aye.
Joanne,
Yeah,
and Michelle?
Aye.
Okay, so that motion passes unanimously.
Right.
Ray,
I just have one question. So Jeff, the variance request tonight is for the tight tank for the upgraded failed system, but right now the plan is showing for 3-bedroom. Do you,
Right.
do you want, you know, they could vote. I'm just talking out loud here. They could vote no with the approved 2-bedroom. Joanne, I'm not sure how, you know what I mean? I'm not sure how
Can-
you, the
or
request,
can
on
we
the-
amend it to a 2-bedroom?
do a
Right, 'cause-
conditional. You know, approval conditional upon,
Amending the
Am-
plan.
amending the plan or, you know, yeah.
Mhm. Okay, just so he doesn't have to come back again.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay,
And do we have to include in that the information about the pumping schedule, or is that something that is already built in through the office?
already built in.
Okay. Anybody want to take a shot?
I'm trying to write it out. Okay.
I did not bring pen and paper, and that's my problem. I'm all electronic, and I tried to pull up the notepad and I lost it somewhere on one of my screens, and I don't know where it went.
And I don't have the screen in front of me. What was
I
the
have that.
original, was the original
So it was
request
a
for
title,
3 or for 2-bedroom?
Original plan was for 2 bedrooms.
No, the
Oh.
variance request.
so the variance request is for the use of a tight tank for the upgrade of a failed septic system at 35 Keys Road. And we could say for 2 bedrooms.
Okay, so it didn't specify a bedroom in the original request?
No,
Okay, all right. All right. So I'm going to make a motion that we conditionally approve the variance request for the use of a tight tank for the upgrade of a failed system at 35 Keys Road for a 2-bedroom dwelling, conditional to revision of the submitted plan to reflect the dwelling as a 2-bedroom system. And that it will be recorded as a deed restriction on the property. Did I get it all?
I think that was excellent.
Okay.
all right, any other comments before we? Okay, seeing no other comments, is there a second? I will second that. So all in favor of the amended request as proposed by Joanne, say aye. Stephanie, aye. Megan,
Aye.
Joanne,
Aye.
and Michelle.
Aye.
Okay, so that passes unanimously, and sorry, Jeff, that it's not what we'd all love to see be able to be done, but
Jeff votes no, but I know it doesn't mean anything.
Well, I know if we could, we probably all would too, but
No, I appreciate the time and at least you listened to me and we had a discussion about it. That's the most I can ask for. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we can discuss, as Michelle, Joanne and Ray said, they can bring this issue up to the DEP and
Yeah, if you feel like, I just, like I said, it just gets frustrating sometimes when, you
Yeah.
can see a solution, but you can't get there because of
the way things are
something-
worded.
Yeah. But
Yeah, thank you.
thank you for your time.
Good
Thank
night.
you, Jeff.
thanks, Jeff.
Have a good night.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the update on the Mass DEP air quality permits.
Alrighty, so we wanted to bring it to your attention. There are 3 locations here in the community that conduct quarry and rock crushing operations. One is WJ Graves Construction, one is Graniteville Materials, and one is Newport Aggregates. 2 of which on Ledge Road, which are adjacent to Chelmsford neighborhoods as well as Westford. And for the last year, as this board's aware, we have been working with DEP on air quality permit applications, dust and condition and emission nuisance violations. And so their division, Air Quality Division, has instituted 3 letters to these operations to let them know that they do need to apply for air quality permits. The periods go from 0 to 120 days. There is a period in which the public has 30 days to provide public comments. And we have let all of the folks that have filed complaints regarding dust and air quality concerns about this. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention. I know in your packet there was some information about some of the locations and fines that were issued, but they're all in a different spot in the application process. So we continue to work with DEP and to monitor any complaints that come into the office. So happy to
you.
answer any questions that you might have.
Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Thanks, Ray. Thanks for keeping us up to date on that and following through on those. Okay, our next agenda item is to vote to approve Abby Graham, Samuel Fontaine, Gail Johnson, Megan O'Neill, Brittany Nash, and Ray Dick as health agents of the Westford Health Department. And this is so that you have the ability to carry out your jobs, basically.
Yeah, so typically we're trying to line this all up for August where we do everyone at the same time. But you had just done our Lenny not too long ago, which is our regional health inspector. And I wanted to have police, school resource officers, and everyone together. However, there's so many people on vacations. They need to get back to me with a list and where school's out. So we're hoping that next month we'll have everyone from school and our school resource officers on the agenda as approval, trying to
And let them know that next year it would be
everybody
great if they had it earlier so that they could be approved from day 1 of school starting.
Mhm.
Joanne.
I'm just would like to change the wording to health agents of the Westford Board of Health, because you're agents of the board, not agents of the health department.
got it. Thank you.
Thanks, Joanne. Okay. Do we have to make a motion or how do we? Yeah, okay.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Michelle? Is there a second?
Point of clarification.
Yes, with the change.
With the change, yeah.
Do you want to?
I'll second
Michelle.
that.
Okay. So motion made and seconded to approve that with at them as agents of the Westford Board of Health. All in favor, Stephanie, aye, Megan,
Aye.
Joanne,
Aye.
and Michelle.
Aye.
Great, thank you very much. That passes unanimously. Okay, and the next item is the state sanitary code housing cases.
Yeah, so typically we don't bring all our housing cases, as you're aware, to this meeting. However, anytime we issue any kind of emergency order or unfit for human habitation, we do bring those cases or any cases that go to housing court to these meetings. 35 West Prescott, I just wanted to bring to your attention that we did receive an emergency call for July 18th, where an order went out for an emergency condemnation order regarding an electrical line that went down in the house. As you can see by the inspection report and the condemnation order, there was quite a few sanitary code violations. In which case, the resident was removed from the home and brought to emergency services. So we are working with our social worker department to relocate the owner, and I know that they are currently working on addressing these violations. At this time, they had 7 days from receipt of the order to see if they would like to come before a Board of Health meeting. At this time, we've been told that they do not feel that's necessary.
Okay, thank you.
14/16 Line Road is a resident who is homeless here in the community. This person has been on our radar in the past and has been offered many different resources from several different departments here in the community. The person has refused any assistance, but I did want to bring to your attention that, as you're aware, recently the person was setting up a very unsanitary situation, had a fire on the property here not too long ago. They moved along in another area town and again set up a very unsanitary trash, a lot of issues with accelerants and things of that nature in the past. So they were located to another property here in 14/16 Line Road, which is the Westford Housing Authority. The person has been ordered off the property, again, offered several resources, several agencies involved to assist the person, and they have refused. So we are following that order. Our understanding is the person has moved along to where, we don't know. So again, just wanted to bring this to your attention.
Thank you, Ray.
Mhm.
Okay, I guess we will move now to new business. Quite a long list of new business.
I know, I apologize with us not meeting in July. It's quite a list. So I just wanted to let you know that we do have an intern. Her name is Kiswa. She's been terrific. She's our student from Yale, and she has been with us just over 2 months now. She leaves in the middle of August. So a couple of projects that she's been working on are these flyers, and those are in your packet.
Yeah, they
One
look great.
Yeah, one being the educational packet, it's going out with a letter to all of our retail and liquor stores here in the community just to talk about CBD and hemp products. The other is algal blooms, because we have lots of residents who call, we've had such a hot summer, who have questions about what things look like and looking for more educational material. So just wanted to bring those to your attention. So those are in your packet.
Joanne?
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but with the algal blooms, like how are the lakes doing? Because I know sometimes you do have to close down the beaches.
So they are looking good. We have had several calls over the summer regarding several different bodies of water here in the community. I will say that Longstop Four Ponds and now Nasset did do a pre-treatment of copper sulfate for the algal blooms out at their lakefronts. But at this time, we have not had to close any body of water here in Westford for algal blooms at this time.
That's
Ray,
great.
somebody asked me about water quality at the by the tiki bar. And does that get tested? Is that,
It does. So I will get back to that person. I know you just sent that to me today,
Yeah.
but this afternoon, the tiki bar is at Neshoba Ski,
Mhm.
and that water body is tested for E. coli. We have 14 different beaches that we test here. It takes about 3.5 hours every week, and we test
oh,
those.
that's a weekly thing in the summer. Wow.
Yeah, once a week. Sam goes out for 3.5 hours, tests all the sites, brings them to the lab, and those results come back 24 hours later. And we do post those on our website, so you can see all the results. We have had to close beaches for E. coli bacteria, a few beaches this summer, and retest.
You
Okay.
said 14?
We have 14 samples that we take, yeah. And Neshoba is one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of beaches to be testing.
It is a lot of beaches for sure, but those results, we do let people know that those are up within 24 hours after the sample for every week of the summer.
Thank you. Maybe the confusion was over the name of that beach.
But yeah, bacteria is certainly something that we, even come May, when we
Start
open,
looking for.
we start to cringe once it gets hot, because certainly the water quality changes, especially it's been so hot.
Yeah,
So yeah, just trying to get ahead of it, and I think this educational tool will be great for
Yeah.
residents.
that's terrific. Thank you. And thank her for that work. That's great.
Sure. So I did bring on Gail Johnson. She's our public health nurse. And
Hello,
so,
Gail.
yes, she is, because she has a few initiatives that I think it'd be great for you all to hear about.
Thank you.
Hi. Well, thanks for inviting me here today.
There we are. Okay.
Do you hear me? Do you see
Yeah,
me?
we do. Yes.
Yeah, hi Gail.
Hi. So thanks for bringing me along today. Yeah, I'm busy doing the planning for the flu clinics, and I just wanted to give some dates. So on Wednesday, October 9th, I'm reading from my paper, so forgive me for looking at it. From 12 to 4, I'm having a 65 and older only clinic at the Millennium, and offering high dose and regular flu vaccine for this cohort of people. And then on the 17th and 24th, both Thursdays, I am doing a 2 large-scale flu clinics for 4 years old and up. And that's from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the cafeteria. And
At Westford Academy.
at Westford Academy. So the 65 and older is at the Millennium, but also included would be the older adult as well as pediatrics, and everyone from 4 years old to up are at the other clinics as well. So that's it's not live yet. I don't have the link yet in color, which is the software that the state provides, and we've done it now for a couple of years with color, and the link will be available, I'm hoping, at the very beginning of September, where that'll be live. So that's the flu for now. So those are 3 big ones that are happening. The other thing that was a big hit last year, and I can't wait to do it again, and I'm hoping we get a good turnout, is the Friends and Family CPR training, which is, CPR for adult, child, and infant, and using the AED, the choking. And really it's for ages 10 years old up to 18 years old. I'm just trying to hone into the younger cohort for this particular class. And then as I move forward, I will, after flu season, I'll probably throw in a lot more clinics. But right now this is just for the kids. And so I'm excited about that. And then
Oh,
also one of the Westford Coalition for Nonviolence, one of our members has come up with a really cute idea that she uses in Chelmsford. And we're going to do this at the community farmers market. And this farmers market will be on Tuesday, August 20th from 3 to 7. And we're going to have a table. And it's really making communication boxes. And it's really for really boxes that allow parents and their children to express their feelings and experiences without using words. And it really kind of just takes the pressure off of each person when they're sharing something personal. So they're like little, and I know that Ray sent that to you, the flyer that was developed by Chelmsford. Marissa, she did a fabulous job, and they're just little boxes. It's really cute. So we're gonna do that at the farmer's market. And then I just wanted to also talk about Buried in Treasures. That was a hoarding slash cluttering workshop that went 16 weeks from January, and then 16 weeks. I can't even remember when that concluded. And we had about 8 participants, and it was wonderful. And then when that concluded, we then continued on with a support group, just to really offer that extra, you know, really support, just to keep on going. So that's been going great, and we're very excited that we're doing that, and hopefully we'll bring that back in January for the full 16 weeks again. So that's been very successful. And last but not least is the blood pressure screening. And so that is, and I know that you were also sent this. This is for the quality improvement plan. And so part of that is to provide blood pressures to our community. So I do blood pressures once a month at the senior center, and I've been doing that for 10 years. But I'm branching off of that and also including hours to have it at the health department so that people can, you know, come by, make an appointment would be preferable, or walk-ins is fine. And really just kind of monitoring our community with hypertension, as that's pretty crucial in maintaining our health. And I think that's, if I'm not, I'm just looking at my notes, and I think that's pretty much what's going on.
That's great. Thank you so much, Gail.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Gail.
Thanks, Ray.
That's a lot of great programs.
Yeah, the Buried
Really
in
exciting
Treasures,
time.
I will just add that that's a regional hoarding task force that we have with 15 communities. And so all the communities are each providing Buried in Treasures presentations for the 16 weeks. And we all are sharing support groups. So if Westford has one, Methuen, and we're all sharing. So it really it's keeping people accountable for decluttering, as we all have a little bit of hoarding in us.
Mhm.
And so the support groups, you know, kind of keep them accountable and keep them going. And, you know, just listening to other cities and surrounding communities, it's really a great program. And Brittany and Nicole are three facilitators that have run the program. So it's
Is the
been,
hope that in January, a new group with some new enrollees would be able to start?
yes, and we keep everything confidential so that no one feels, you know, everyone feels safe. And
No, that's great. Thank you.
Mhm.
So next is the presentation for the center.
Yeah, the CDC recently came to visit Massachusetts to learn about local public health funding and how they could, you know, what our needs are, asked a lot of questions, wanted to see how some of these shared services arrangements, if you will, or public excellent arrangements, as they're called, how they're going. And so we were asked if we would present on our Northwest Public Health Coalition with Acton, Dreekit, Westford, and Lowell. So I represented the group and put on our presentation of successes and, you know, some of the challenges with the grant process. And the Department of Public Health was there, and it was held in Foxborough. So I just wanted to let you know that that took place last week. And yeah, I thought it was really successful. They had lots of questions, and it was great to hear their feedback. And I think they were really impressed with what Brittany's been able to put on and our regional health inspector.
That's great. Thanks, Ray.
Sure.
You have special town meeting, October 21st. Was there anything in particular?
I just wanted you to be aware that that is taking place. The firearms bylaw will be on special town meeting. As I did let you all know that the planning board did take your proposed language and advisement, and they did approve that language that you had asked. So that will be on again on October 21st.
Thank you. I had only just heard an inkling of that, so I appreciate that.
And then September is Suicide Awareness and Emergency Preparedness Month. So we have a couple speakers and items and things that we've been working on to advertise the 988 line, as well as we're working with our MRC volunteers to put together pet sheltering. I know in the past we're always, really ramping up for the 72-hour kits as we have, what is it, Tropical Storm Debbie going on right now, and a couple tornadoes, I think, touched down in New York today. Yeah, we're just making sure people are also aware. We seem to be able to pull them in when we talk about their pet. So we're trying to get creative and set up a whole pet sheltering area and to kind of get the conversation going, and then to push in the 72-hour kit for them themselves. So trying to think of other ways to get the word out.
Do you have on the website a list of what people should have in their 72-hour kit?
We do, but I will be honest, you have to be a magician to find it. Yeah, you'd have to go into emergency preparedness. So we're working with Nancy Burns, our MRC coordinator, to put some updated flyers and to put those more prominently on the website. So that should come out by the end of the month, just in time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go back one to the town meeting.
Mhm.
For the bylaw, has anybody heard anything? The last time it was all over everywhere.
All over. Have we heard about
Information
what it looks
about the meeting.
Yeah, just information or what's happening or
So my
go back?
understanding, I can certainly send you the draft the final draft that they have as of right now. I couldn't tell you beyond the changes that you asked for if there have been any other changes, but I could certainly look into that and find out for you. I know a couple meetings ago you had this board had requested some language changes which were approved, but I have not seen what the bylaw looks like as of right now.
Okay.
Hopefully,
I
Seems
almost
really
certainly can
quiet compared to the original one where there was just a lot of stuff back and forth and meetings and
It
maybe
has
it's
been
because
quiet.
it's still August and people are still on vacation.
They're sitting on the beach.
Yeah.
still though. Yeah, I
No, I
suppose as
agree.
it gets closer maybe, but yeah. Okay, just curious.
Nope, I will find out though for you and get that over to you. And then the last for new business is I just wanted to make you aware that the contracts for the MRC have been completed, as well as shared services grant consultants that did those for the shared services grant. Those consultants were just approved through the RFP process. We did need to go out where we're going into our 4th year. We completed the first 3-year grant cycle. And the MRC coordinator for Nancy Burns, her contracts have also been approved in front of the select board and have been sent to the state.
Great. So is the new shared services for another 3 years or is it?
It
Yes.
is. It
Great.
is level funded for another 3 till 27.
Okay, and now we have old business.
The one item on old business tonight is the PFAS. Sorry, I'm losing my voice tonight. PFAS private well project. And so last Tuesday night, I presented in front of the select board, excuse me, with next to the water department on our private drinking water well project, which you have in your packet, the presentation. And so we were just giving them an update on what those results look like, which I know we brought to this board. and basically that the project is finished up. And as soon as we're finished tonight, we'll make sure that that goes live with all those results on our GIS coordination.
So one of the things that I noted in it and wondered if you, was that you had a statement saying that there didn't appear to be any real geographic pattern. And the
Correct.
repeat testing, and you'd also sent us something about the state starting a private well program for something about this.
So there is no fund. What it is the statement was just made, a public service announcement from the governor's office that they're issuing more funding for PFAS for private drinking water wells, but how that looks yet, we don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how, if she'll institute a project with DEP as before, where you had to have, for instance, Westford didn't qualify because of our population. It was for populations of 10,000 or lower. So I don't know what that funding's gonna look like.
That's not right.
No. We didn't qualify. We tried. So I will say that, there was no correlation. The water department was in agreement. Everyone in our office was in agreement.
That's
It
a little
doesn't-
odd and concerning, I would say, but
Yeah, even our GIS coordinators, you could see in the presentation, blew up different sections of the town, which was great. And you
Yeah.
can see that, you might have a red dot that exceeds both DEP and EPA, but then right next to it's a green one where there was no detection of PFAS. Again, we would recommend, that everyone had a confirmatory samples taken again, just to make sure. But that's up to the owner, and yeah, everyone was sent resources, information, remediation packet. So
they appear to be in an orange zone.
nope, that's okay. So with the GIS, what was different than I think what you all saw from the last meeting was there is a page in the presentation that shows you what the public view will be. And so they'll be able to see the map of all these, red, yellow, green, orange circles. They'll be able to click on it, see all the results. We're in the process of adding a glossary and links to our water department and health department. But you'll be able to see what those results were. You won't be able to see the exact address, but you'll be able to see, it was on Crown Road or, where you live.
And we think that'll be available when?
As soon as this meeting's complete, I'll get that out this week and notify you for sure, but we're hoping by the end of the week
Great.
that will go live.
Thank you.
Unless you have any questions for me.
No questions? Okay. Then we have reached the end of our agenda. So would anybody like to make a motion to adjourn? Until September.
Go,
Make a mo-
Megan.
Saw me unmute. I can make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Megan. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Michelle seconds. All in favor. Stephanie, aye. Joanne,
Aye.
Megan,
Aye.
Michelle.
Aye.
Thank you all so much. And Ray, thank you for being here and all that you're doing.
Thank you. You have a great night.
Night.
Can
Thanks,
I
everybody.